Today we will be discussing how to replace the fluid path in a Series 80,000 reel. If you notice leaking, inspect for cracks or damage to the fluid path. Begin by bleeding the fluid or gas pressure from the system. Then remove the swivel assembly. Next, use a flathead screwdriver to remove the bumper from the hose. Next, begin to remove the tension by pulling out all of the hose and locking it into place. For additional safety precautions, you can place a C-clamp onto the spool of the reel to prevent the spring tension from releasing accidentally. Then remove the U-bolt from the spool assembly. Unscrew the hose from the gooseneck and remove the hose from the reel through the opening in the spool and guide arms. If you used a C-clamp, you can now remove it. Slowly release all of the tension from the spring by letting the spool turn until the spring stops. It is important to control the spool during this time. Now you can remove all 5 bolts starting at the bottom. Next, move to the other side of the reel and remove all 4 bolts holding the guide arm to the reel. Once all of the bolts are off, remove the guide arm from the reel assembly. After the guide arm is off, with the help of at least one more person, lift the heavy spool assembly from the base and place it on its side. Remove the snap rings from the shaft with snap ring pliers. Next, slide the bearings from both sides of the shaft. Tip the spool back up and slide the spring case off of the shaft. Then remove the 3 inner bolts to remove the old fluid path from the spool. Place the new fluid path in the same orientation as the previous one, then tighten the bolts. Lay the spool back on its side and place the spring case back over the shaft. Make sure the spring hook is centered in the spring case when installing the spring. To complete the spring installation, reverse the steps. When the spool is completely installed back to the base, add tension to the spool by rotating it 3 times. Then feed the hose back through the roller guides and reinstall the bumper stop. Now you can use your Series 80,000 reel. For more how-to videos, visit reelcraft.com.